Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Clangin and Bangin with Mikey, episode 218. And good morning, happy Sunday. If you guys noticed, I got a new computer chair for my room. Old one that I had just wasn't cutting it. It was one of your basic computer chairs that just didn't offer no support, and it just wasn't really comfortable. So I got this chair off Amazon, about $100. I don't remember. I don't remember the brand name of it, but yeah, it's pretty comfortable. But today on this episode, what we're gonna talk about, man, is it is Cerebral Palsy Awareness Month, and I know last week I hinted on some few things too, um, but we're gonna like last week we're gonna take it a little differently, right? Cerebral palsy, like I said last week, it's not a disease. It's not something that it's not something that that may or may not be hereditary. They don't really know. Even guys who study the field in child development don't know. I've talked to guys who who have done research on PhD levels, on child development as to why certain things happen, as terms of why kids get born with Down syndrome, why they get born with all types of deformities, and all types of disabilities. And basically what it came down to is that they think it's because of the environment. They think it's because of extenuating circumstances out of your control. One thing with cerebral palsy that we know, that most kids who have cerebral palsy, they're black male children more often than not. And the main thing about cerebral palsy is that it's been linked to oxygen deprivation, but right before birth, during birth, or right after birth. So there's something that happens in the body where oxygen isn't delivered to the brain, and during that particular time frame, the brain suffers what they call a TBI, traumatic brain injury, which that's what cerebral palsy is, because cerebral palsy affects your fine motor skills, like your walking, your talking, your speech. Me myself per se, I walk with what they call a scissors walk. So I'm constantly having to stretch out my hamstrings and and my hips and everything too. Because if I don't do it, I can literally feel my body tighten up. And one thing they recommend is working out. Ta-da! You know, I'm a I'm a former competitive bodybuilder. I say former because we never really leave the stage. And it's interesting, man. It's like that's the one thing that drove me into not just bodybuilding but weight training. Cause my first love is always gonna be hoop. Ask my girl, she'll tell you. Like I am a I am no well, I wouldn't call myself a savant, but I'm pretty damn close to it. And because I'm the type of dude that's like, when I played hoop, it was like I prided myself on playing good defense, understanding the plays that was running, understanding what the other team was doing, how to counter attack that. It is that physically I couldn't play organized sports because of disability. And I remember I was a senior in high school, tried out for the basketball squad. I did all the drills except the contact drills, and I couldn't make the team because the contact drills is where you make your bread and butter, right? And I remember begging my doctor. I was like, "Yo, doc, I just want to play, man. It's like I just want to be on that court. It's all I wanted to do." And doc told me, "Hey, man, I gotta protect you." You know what I mean? And I understood that because if I get hurt, that's a liability, you know. But I swear to God, like some of them dudes that we played, man, is like, whew. And what pissed me off is like when guys had opportunities and didn't make nothing of them. You know, guys had all these athletic abilities in the world and they just couldn't get it done. And that's what it is, man. I prided myself on being available, and my grades were decent, but my coach would be like, "Hey, man, you got to get your grades up," because even though I wasn't on the team, the next best spot for me was team manager, right? And the good thing about it is that a lot of the guys that were on that squad, we all grew up together, so they all knew I could play, because it's like we would show up to the basketball court with you and we would run 2, 3, 4 games, and they went like in a row. And it got to the point where the only time we got beat is when we got tired. And so all these cats knew I had a decent jump shot, decent crossover. And they're like, yeah, if it wasn't for your physical disability, bro, it's like you be probably wrecking people. And it's true. Because I tried to model my crossover after Tim Hardaway and Allen Iverson. Yeah, my shit was nasty. My shit was nasty. And it was always interesting too. When guys would get on the court and they'd be like, yeah, I got him, not knowing that I had skills, not knowing that I had a 15 and 20 foot jump shot that was butter. That was butter, not butter, butter, you know? And that shit's so wet it would start raining. My dribble was so wet, shit, people thought it was raining outside, man. Okay, I'm gonna stop. But yeah, man, I think, and that's how I got into that's how I got into bodybuilding. It was because I was a senior in high school, and I had all these goals that I wanted to check off. And that's how I learned about setting goals, and and understanding that goal setting is important. It's because of weight training and basketball. So when the weight training coach came around, I think the first guy was just a lot of people thought he was an asshole, but he actually was a decent dude. He looked out for a lot of his players. You know what I mean? When I say players, because he was a baseball coach too. And he was a little bit of a hard ass, but for good reason, Like, the guy wanted, kids to be better than he was, And he was quick to hold people accountable, too. Like, he just did not care. When he would coach baseball, and some of the baseball guys would make fun of me because how I walk, because they would see us walking through the campus to get to the bus. He would check them right there. Like, hey, what the fuck are you doing? Leave him alone. What's the matter with you? And I never got the chance to thank that man, but the fact that he always looked out for me, the fact that he always made sure nobody messed with me, and the fact that I had other people around me that made sure that nobody messed with me, Because I wasn't always this muscle-bound dude that you see now. It's just like, I was a little short, maybe 5 foot, fat kid, and I didn't know how to stand up for myself, right? And through years of bodybuilding and this training, I was figure, okay, if I can earn my respect this way, imagine what it's gonna look like when my confidence catches up. And when my confidence catches up, it's a wrap. And so that's how I got into bodybuilding, because of the weight training. And also the weight training teacher, he was, like I said, he was a baseball coach, and he would open up the gym after school. So on the days where before scrimmage, I would come in and do a couple of sets. I would try to get stronger, because if I yeah, I couldn't bench the bar the first day of weight training. And one of the goals that I wrote down, because he had us write down like 3 short-term goals and 3 long-term goals, all related to weight training. I wanted to bench press 135 by the end of the school year. I got up to 150 by the end of the school year, so I crushed that. I wanted to work on my abdominals and core to get them stronger. I worked on those. And I think the last question that he asked was, like, what do you want to do after high school? And I said, I want to go to college. I said, I don't know what I want to major in, but I know I want to go to college. And I just didn't know where, because I didn't really know what I wanted to do and where I wanted to go. I just knew I wanted to go to school. Not because that's what everybody did, but I knew it was like if I wanted to make something of myself and just be better, that's what I had to do. And I'm not saying that guys who don't have degrees or guys who don't have, guys who don't have degrees, are, they're not, that I'm better than them, because I'm not. I knew for me, if I wanted to progress and become a successful member of society, me getting a degree would help me tremendously. And so I remember graduating high school. I didn't know where life would take me, but I knew I was going to be like, okay, like, this is where life really starts, bro. Like, whatever choices that you make now will impact you for the rest of your foreseeable life. And thankfully, the choices I made, they all worked out well. They all worked out really well. I went off to go to community college first, and then I had finished up there, spent 2 or 3 years at the community college level, transferred to UH, because I think I had transferred. I mean, I had applied for University of Hawaii, University of Oregon, USC, and I want to say one more school. I can't remember which school it was though. But I remember University of Hawaii got back to me first. And the scholarship that I had, which is through DVR, which is a Divisional Vocational Rehabilitation. What it was a federally funded program, which was great, by the way. Back then, they paid for your tuition, books, and if you wanted a dorm at the school, they would pay for you to dorm at the school. But the caveat was that since it's a federally funded program, they would only fund up their maximum amount for the home university. So let's say if I went to the University of Oregon, whatever it was, I could actually apply for in-state tuition, which was roughly about the same as University of Hawaii, but everything else I would have to come out of pocket for, because they would fund the tuition and the books, but not the dorm fees. And okay, bet. And so I did all that. I decided to stay home and just go to University of Hawaii, because I figured, okay, it's like, instead of me transferring and moving up there and taking over some courses, because that's what they told me. It's like, hey, man, there's some of your courses you got to retake, because it's like they wasn't the same level, meaning the number. Like, instead of me taking English 100, I would have to take English 101. Instead of me taking Math 100, I have to take Math 101 and Math 102, because they don't have the same course number, right? I'm like, okay, cool. But the University of Hawaii, they said, like, hey, we'll take you as long as your courses are above 100 level, at or 100 level. I was like, okay, bet. And I never dormed at the university. I partied at the university a lot. I kind of wish I did dorm, just for the experience. But I don't regret, See, there's a slur right there. I don't regret, me having to deal with what I had to deal with, because it makes you a better individual. I wouldn't know who I would be if I didn't have to face the adversity that I faced growing up. You know, being teased, wearing UFOs. Well, UFOs is all right, we're back. A little bit of a technical difficulties, but UFOs is actually leg braces. What it is um because kids who have cerebral palsy, like one of our weak points is our legs, so they try to strengthen them or give them balance. Um, by wearing them leg braces, right? So, and believe me, I was so self-conscious because I, you know, I used to always have to buy sneakers. I used to always have to buy sneakers that were like 2, 3 sizes bigger because of the leg braces. And then and when I got to high school, my doctor goes, "Hey man, if you don't have, if you don't want to wear the leg braces anymore, you don't have to." I was like, "Wait, what?" I can, because to me that was like a signal for kids to make fun of me, right? And that was a signal for them just to be assholes, right? So I think that's important too, to realize that, man, because a lot of the times people don't understand, the shit that they say. You know, you never truly forget how somebody made you feel. You can forget what they said, you know. And I'm not talking about holding grudges or doing X, Y, and Z. No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that there are some people I'm never gonna associate with ever again because of what they told me. It's like, nah, it's like, I remember this one guy, we were good friends, going, through grade school and starting middle school, like we was good friends. And which I thought he was a friend. And then he said, I remember one day I seen him in the cab. I was like, "Hey, bro, what's up, man? How you doing?" I was like, "Hey, like, you want to grab some lunch, chill, whatever?" And the guy told me, "I don't hang out with cripples." Mind you, this is 2000. I just started middle school. This is 2025. This is 25 years ago. There's some things you don't forget, bro. There's some things you don't, like, no, fuck you. You know what I mean? It's like we ain't cool. And I remember seeing him years later, and he tried to talk to me, tried to make conversation. I'm like, "Nah, bro, I'm cool. Back the fuck up." He's like, "What?" "Yeah, back the fuck up, bro." Like, no, you like you're not gonna do that. You like, like you're not gonna pretend like, like you didn't say some fucked up shit when we were kids, thinking that now 10, 15 years later that I forgot about it. I ain't forget, nigga. Fuck you. I did not forget. You know? And I think that's what a lot of people fail to realize, that it's like, man, it's like, yeah, you can't sit there and say that shit and have a motherfucker feel it, not feel a certain way about it, right? And it's true. You can't. And a lot of the times people will be like, "Oh, I didn't mean it." No. You said it. That means you thought it. That means you had a coherent thought. That means you planned this shit out. You know? And I think that's the most heartbreaking thing, man, is like, I've had a lot of people look into disability first. Not just in friendship, but in relationships too. And when they did that, they missed the real person. But I think everything works out for a reason, and I'm glad it did. I'm glad I got redirected. I did not, because rejection to me is redirection, and I think a lot of it has to do with the fact, okay, like, it's not you, dog. It's like, this person's not ready for X, Y, and Z, so just leave them be. And then I met my girl, and I remember she told me once, she's like, yo, like, what does your physical disability got to do with us? And I was like, what? She's like, yeah, I'm not with you because you got a physical disability. I'm with you because I love your ass. I was like, what, wait, what? You know, I didn't know, I didn't know. And I'm glad, that it, um, it worked out the way it did. Cause I love that girl, man. You know, there's nothing I wouldn't do for her, and vice versa. She is the only person that I want to talk to about my day, that I want to check up on throughout the day. You know, like she may tell you that I'm a little out of control, and she knows what I mean by that. But at the end of the day, man, it's like, I think with all the redirection that I did, and with everybody turning out the way they turned out, I'm glad I still stayed, the true version of myself. I'm glad I didn't let nobody else's bullshit, nobody else's drama influence how I react with the world. Because I could have simply said, like, you know what, fuck you. I could have did all this extra shit. Yeah, I could have turned out like everybody else. I could have been fake. I could have been, X, Y, and Z. But in reality, that wasn't the case. I was raised differently, man. And I know it's a long-winded way to say this, but it's the truth, because I read this quote somewhere saying, maturing is realizing your father wasn't an asshole. Maturing is realizing your father wanted you to be better than what he was. And while that may be true to an extent, I never got to thank my dad, man. I never got to thank him for him pushing me, him making me understand that the world doesn't care whether you're black, brown, purple, yellow, orange, green, whatever. They don't care. You got a physical disability. You still got to go out there and you still have to take care of yourself. Because he's like, at the end of the day, man, it's like, you gonna outlive me. You gonna outlive your mother. You possibly gonna outlive your brother. And he's right. 2 out of the 3, man. And it's like, he's right. So at the end of the day, it's also something that I take stock in, because it's like, one of my coworkers she found out that my brother died about a year ago, and she's like, hey, well, you carried it so well. I was like, I don't have a choice. What do I look like? I can't wallow in my pain and my despair. I mean, I can feel my emotions. I can try to understand them. I can go to therapy. I can, get counsel. But at the end of the day, you don't have the ability, nor should you ever stay in your emotions. Emotions are like people. They come and go. And if you allow your ego to take over, that means emotions going overboard. You don't have any control. And I'm not saying that I'm a control freak, but I'm never gonna let my emotions in the moment. Ooh, I like that. Emotions in the moment. Control how I am outside of that. And I think a lot of people don't realize that, man. It's like they let their emotions get so hot and heavy. They're like, oh, yeah, boom, 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 boom. And I'm like, nah, bro, you can't blame somebody else. Blame yourself. Because you're the one, letting that in. You're the one doing X, Y, and Z. And it's like, you really can't get mad at that. How you going to get mad at somebody else for, them showing you who they are repeatedly? So, it's like, at the end of the day, man, it is what it is. And I think this is important, because a lot of the times people will sit there and try to come up with excuses as to why their behavior is what it is. Me on the other hand, I don't have an excuse, bro. I'm just a kid with cerebral palsy. I'm not a kid, but I'm a grown man with cerebral palsy, trying to navigate life, trying to become the best version of myself. And I'm thankful for the lessons and hardships and journeys that I've been on. And well, a lot of my mistakes have turned out okay. Failure isn't a bad thing, man, because the word fail means, as an acronym, first attempt in learning. Yep, first attempt in learning. That's what fail stands for. So if you don't fail, that means you're not learning. And it doesn't mean that if you're doing the same thing over and over again, it's like, I was like, nah, that's not failing. That's making a choice. You know, that means you're refusing to learn. It's like with anything, right? If you don't study for an exam, there's a high possibility that you're gonna fail it. You know, so at the end of the day, just be mindful of what you want to do and how, what type of individual that you want to become, because the future version of you is gonna want that. It's gonna thank you for that. Because if you stay put, if you stay potted in a way, you limit your growth. Meaning, if it's you're dating the same type of people, hanging out with the same type of friends, friends that don't really go anywhere, friends that don't have any real ambitions, it's like you need to leave those arenas. I'm not saying leave them, but place people where they need to be placed. And that's just a journey in me, man. That's all. All right, y'all. I will see y'all next week. Hope y'all keeping it 4 P's. Private player, positive pushing. And like always, I love y'all. Y'all keep it 100. And like I always say, know your worth because you're better than what you are. All right, y'all. Peace. Happy Sunday, y'all. Later.